I don't know about you, but earlier this week I came to something of a realization. I've been looking forward to Sea of Thieves for a while, and I've seen bits and pieces of gameplay over the last couple of years and read the odd interview, but you know what? If you'd asked me what is this game actually all about, like yes, it's a pirate game that you play with other people, but what do you do? I'm not sure I could have given you a particularly good answer. I'd even hazard a guess that for a little while at least, Rare wasn't too sure how to answer that question either. But over the last 12 months, things have changed. If you look at the Sea of Thieves YouTube channel, you'll find a regular schedule of updates, behind-the-scenes discussion, and developer gameplay. They've run technical alphas with a few thousand players being invited at a time, and there's an active forum community which the team has been engaging with. The information is there if you look for it, which is exactly what I've been doing, so I can bring this video to you and share everything I think you need to know about Sea of Thieves. First up, there's now a confirmed release date. Sea of Thieves is being released on the 20th of March on both the Xbox One and PC, or well, specifically PCs that are running Windows 10, so don't expect this one to appear on Steam, it'll be a Microsoft Store thing. However, that does mean that if you purchase the Xbox One version of Sea of Thieves, you by default receive a Windows 10 copy of the game, and your save data is all going to be handled by Rare's servers, which means you should be able to jump between your Xbox and PC as you please. There's also going to be crossplay between those two platforms from launch. Alright, let's talk gameplay. Sea of Thieves is a multiplayer game, yes, but how does that work exactly? Well, when you enter a game, whether that's on your own or with a group of friends that have formed a crew, you'll be entering a shared world. That means there'll be other pirate crews sailing around in the same oceans, walking around the same outposts, exploring the same islands potentially, but they're doing their own thing. And, importantly, it's not every single player currently playing Sea of Thieves all on one server. That would probably be a really bad idea. It's a limited number, although we don't know exactly what that number is going to be. And if one crew logs off, another should then take its place. There's a matchmaking system in place to ensure that happens in a hopefully sensible fashion. One thing I did like hearing from the developers is that when you do join a world for the first time, you won't just be surrounded by other ships manned by other potentially hostile crews. That would suck. Instead, you're meant to spawn somewhere reasonably safe, and then as you explore the world, you'll start to occasionally spot other ships in the distance, which you can then avoid or attack depending on what you and your crew want to do, I guess. Well, that raises an interesting question, I think. What happens if you've just started out? Won't the other pirate crews outlevel your own and then have access to better weapons as a result? Well, Rare has apparently decided against that kind of progression system. Every player should have access to the exact same set of core items: a cutlass, blunderbuss, pistol, shovel, lantern, compass, and so on, and those items don't get better as you play. I mean, the hope is that you'll get better at using them as you play more and more, but the items themselves won't improve. Your blunderbuss as you first start playing is the same as a player who's clocked up, 100 hours playtime before you. While we're on that topic, I think it's worth pointing out the difference between items and resources. Items, like your cutlass or the pistol, are always in your inventory from the moment you jump into a world. Resources, however, are consumable items that you'll need to collect as you play. That includes the ammunition you'll need for your blunderbuss, bananas that you'll eat, skin and all, to get your health back, wooden planks that are used to repair your ship and stop leaks getting out of hand. The idea here is that you can't just spam, say, your blunderbuss over and over again. There's a finite number of shots you'll be able to take before you have to switch out and use another weapon instead. Actually, before we move on from items and onto another topic, I want to give a shout out to the way maps work in Sea of Thieves. I am a sucker for games that treat maps as real, tangible objects, and the kind of ones that you need to hold in front of you and actually peer at. I think it's particularly effective in an experience that has you searching for buried treasure with a crew and trying to find out where the X is that marks the spot, and bonus points here for letting one player hold their map out in front of them so their other crew members can look at it too. But there's another map to consider in Sea of Thieves, and that's the one that you'll find on the ship itself, the world map. If you're searching for an island, this is how you'll find it, and there's a design decision here that I really enjoy. The world map is right below deck on the ship, whereas, as you'd expect, the ship's wheel is up top, which means the person sailing the ship can't see the map at the same time as they're sailing. You'll have to have someone below deck communicating back and forth with the crew member at the wheel, and actually, if you want to do it properly, you'll probably want someone on the crow's nest as well, looking out for anything dangerous that's not marked on the map, like rocks or, other pirate ships. It means communication is vitally important. You can't do it all alone. Well, hang on, that last sentence wasn't quite true. You can do it alone if you'd like. If you'd rather not play with others, you can choose to sail a small ship rather than a large one. And whereas the large ship is best suited to 4 crew members, the small ship has been designed to be sailed by just 1 or 2. The entire layout of this smaller vessel has been reworked with this in mind, putting everything from the wheel to the anchor to the cannons in much closer proximity. That being said, it is still worth remembering that you can only do one thing at a time, and so a larger ship with more crew will still have a significant advantage in combat. Let's go back to the topic of communicating with the rest of your crew for a moment, because it looks to be such an integral part of the game. Voice chat just doesn't appeal to everyone, especially if you're teaming up with random players, so it is also worth knowing that there are a list of basic things that you can say to your crewmates through a command wheel, rather than actually needing to use a microphone. And on top of that, if you do encounter a player that's just not being a whole lot of fun to be around, the crew can vote as a group to do something about that. So what does that mean? Does it just kick them out of the game, I guess? Well, not quite. You can vote to put that player in the brig of your ship, which is one of the most inventive approaches to party management I think I've ever seen from a game. I love it. And of course, I'm absolutely certain this feature is going to be abused by, well, pretty much everyone as they lock up their mates in the brig, because it's funny and you can do this to them. That sounds like a pretty great feature too. Well, what about progression then? Questing in Sea of Thieves works as part of something called the Voyage system. Players are tasked with completing different voyages by each of the 3 trade companies in the game. You've got the Gold Hoarders, who want to acquire more wealth, the Merchant Alliance, who care about trade, and the Order of Souls, who are just super into skulls, apparently. Completing voyages for each of these trade companies provides you with gold, but also reputation with that company, and a higher reputation lets you unlock new cosmetic options and titles. Okay, so let's say you've been given a voyage to complete. You then meet back on your ship with the rest of your crew, and each of you puts forward a voyage that you'd like to tackle. You then vote as a crew to decide which of these you're going to do, and the rewards and reputation are all split between everyone, so it's not like just that one person benefits. You all benefit. And although you're encouraged to attack other pirate crews along the way, there's no incentive to betray each other here and steal the treasure at the last moment for yourself. There's a pirate code to consider. Also, that would probably suck. Anyway, each of the trade companies offer different flavours of voyage. The Gold Hoarders will ask you to recover treasure chests, which you'll need to find, first of all, and then protect as you take it back to whichever outpost you need to deliver it to. If you're unlucky, another pirate crew could be in the area at the same time and may try to take that chest from you, which they can then deliver themselves and cash in on all your hard work. The Merchant Alliance typically wants supplies to be delivered on their behalf, which once again means you'll need to protect them, and it's not just other players you have to worry about, but also the weather. You don't want to take that stuff for a storm, for example, if you can really help it, because, yeah, that looks a little more dangerous. These guys are also quite into rare animals and wouldn't mind if you put them in a cage and brought them back to them every so often for extra bonuses. Whereas finally, the Order of Souls, as I said before, are just really into skulls, particularly magical skulls belonging to cursed pirates. The more infamous, the better. And yeah, there's also a whole suite of riddle voyages, which will have you trying to figure out pirate clues and do different things, maybe play an instrument in front of a wall to do that, and yeah, I haven't really seen enough of this to make my mind up on it, and it's unclear whether or not this stuff is completely handcrafted or procedural. I guess we'll find out. But yes, voyages are the main drive in terms of player progression, and because of the nature of shared open worlds, the hope is that as you're trying to complete them, you'll run into trouble with other crews. That's where the stories will really come from, the experiences that are unique to you and your ship. Will that be enough to keep people coming back to Sea of Thieves time and time again, voyage after voyage? Well, to be honest, I don't know yet. I think there's a lot of stuff about this game that sounds absolutely brilliant, but does it all slot together nicely? Are there enough incentives to chase after? Well, we're going to have to wait until March to find that out, I suppose. But wait a second, I almost forgot the single most important feature of Sea of Thieves. It's embarrassing that I've left it for the end of the list, I guess. You can use your ship's cannons to fire yourself into the air whenever you like. And there's full damage too, so you better try and land in water. Yeah, I should have put that right at the top. Sorry. Thank you very much for watching this video. Hopefully that gave you a better insight into what to expect from Sea of Thieves. If you've been following this game or even playing it as part of the Insider program, do let us know in the comments. Let me know if you think it's going to be good and why, or if there's any features that I've missed that you think are particularly important. Be good to talk about them below, and we will see you in tomorrow's video. Goodbye. You're nice.